From the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, this is Iowa Live.
Kind of a somber day around the Iowa Live studios here today, and that is right in line to what we are going to talk about with Professor Jeff Stein and today's Iowa Almanac. And this morning, Jeff, you know, on the Iowa Almanac, we love talking about history, things that happened in the state of Iowa. We hear about very uplifting things that have happened over the years, but also at times we have to remember some things that we just cannot forget. What are we talking about here this morning?
Well, good morning, Lou, and good morning, everyone. It's hard to believe, frankly, that it was 30 years ago today, on November 1st of 1991, that a disgruntled graduate student at the University of Iowa took his revenge, killing 4 faculty members and 1 student, seriously wounding another student, and then taking his own life. Hard to believe because for many, it seems like only yesterday. Now, that Friday afternoon was a bit chilly. There was even snow in the air in Iowa City. Then, as now, Friday afternoons in Iowa City, often a time on campus for meetings and getting ready for the weekend. Gong Lu was a 28-year-old who came to Iowa City from China and received his doctoral degree from the university the previous spring. However, he was angry because his dissertation did not win a prestigious campus award. And Lou, he blamed his lack of employment after graduation in part because of not getting the award.
And apparently after planning his actions for some months, he decided to take revenge on those who believed were the ones that wronged him.
No, absolutely right. On that November afternoon, he attended a physics research group meeting in a conference room of Van Allen Hall. Shortly after that meeting began, Lou shot and killed 3 people. Professor Christoph Gertz, Professor Robert Smith, and graduate student Lin Hua Shan. He then went to the office of the department chair in the same building and killed Professor Dwight Nicholson. Not satisfied, he then walked the 3 blocks to the Pentecrest and Jessup Hall, killing Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs T. Ann Cleary and seriously wounding student employee Mita Ridolfo Siosin. Gong Lu then shot himself in the head, dying shortly after police arrived that day.
Yeah, and in fact, there was another key university official that apparently was also targeted. Did we hear that right?
Yeah, and this is often forgotten. The president of the university at that time, Hunter Rawlings, his office was in Jessup Hall. He was also on Lou's hit list, but President Rawlings was in Ohio for the Hawkeye football game at Ohio State the very next day, or else, again, could have been an even more tragic outcome. That tragic killing that shook the campus and our whole state happened on this date in 1991. Again, hard to believe, 30 years ago today, Lou.
That's as tough as anything, Jeff, is understanding that it happened 30 years ago. And that's one of those moments that if you're from Iowa and you were here, you remember what happened to your workplace, your school, or when all this was unfolding, right?
It happened at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I was living in Marshalltown at the time, came home from work, turned on the TV, and saw shocked reporters' faces, because this is not the kind of story you ever think you're going to cover. And for me, attending the University of Iowa for undergrad and graduate school, you're familiar. So many of the viewers are familiar. You know exactly where these buildings are. And so it really became quite real for all of us very quickly.
Wow, so just something that we need to remember. Many, many positive things happen that we talk about here and have fun with, but also some things we need to think back and remember on this day in Iowa history. People want to go back and take a look at this again and get the details, or maybe some other things that happened throughout history on individual days of the year. How can they do so?
Good day to go and remember those people who lost their lives. It's at iowaalmanac.com. All the stories from every weekday right there for you at iowaalmanac.com.
All right, Professor Jeff Stein, you bundle up and stay warm a little bit, and then we will talk to you next time.
Very good, sir. Have a good day.
All right, you have a great day as well.